City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 6, 2026. If you could please rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll while Steve is trying to figure out how to get our monitors to work.
Councilmember Pistoria.
Here.
Councilmember Butler.
Here.
Councilmember Novak. Councilmember Geisler.
Here.
Councilmember Armstrong.
Here.
Councilmember Carlson.
Here.
Mayor Cook.
Here.
One absent, Novak.
Thank you. We're going to adopt this evening's agenda. Motion to adopt the agenda. Second. Motion by Butler and a second by Geisler to adopt the agenda. Is there any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Next is the approval of the minutes from the December 16th meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes for the December 16th, 2025 meeting.
Second. Motion by Butler and a second by Geisler. Is there any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Those minutes are approved, I should say. We have 3 items on our consent agenda this evening. The first one is to approve the final payment to Minger Construction Companies for Project 24-16 Lift Station Rehab. There was a change order for new pumps installed at lift station number 5. The work under bid alternate number 2 was not performed and was removed from the contract. So we're looking at approval of a change order and final payment to Minger Construction Companies Incorporated in the amount of $25,858.67 for Project 24-16 Lift Station Rehab. The next item on the consent agenda is to approve the final payment to Thomas & Sons Construction Incorporated for Project 25-7 Highway 10 Water Main Relocation. To approve the change order and final payment to Thomas & Sons Construction Incorporated in the amount of $11,470.23 for Project 25-7 Highway 10 Water Main Relocation. And then the third and final item on the consent agenda is to receive the schedule of electronic payments. Staff has prepared the attached list of electronic payments processed since the last council meeting, so we're looking to receive the schedule of electronic payments from December 11th, 2025 through December 30th, 2025. And that is our full consent agenda. Mr. Mayor? Councilmember Carlson, motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion by Carlson, a second by Armstrong. Is there any discussion or questions about the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 5 is to conduct a public hearing and consider adoption of Ordinance 2347, amending Chapter 13-899, Centerpoint Energy Franchise. Mr. Brody, didn't we just do this 20 years ago?
We did, and we'll do it again in another 20 years for those that will be here. So, again, Mayor and Council. This particular ordinance is consistent with our other franchise and with renting and residence. That's sustainable. So similar in its kind of important for tonight's purposes, and franchise fee itself is set by a separate ordinance, and that's been still the same. So really just a continuation of the previous franchise agreement. And so we ask that you conduct that public hearing, and then and if it's a risk to adapt the ordinance to authorize that, and also to authorize summary publication.
Any questions of Mr. Brody before we open the public hearing? That's could be a contentious one. Open the public hearing on the matter of the Centerpoint Energy Franchise Agreement. Anybody like to address council for the Centerpoint Energy Franchise public hearing?
Close the public hearing, and
Council, what are your wishes?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Butler,
I move that we adopt ordinance 2347, CenterPoint Energy franchise, and authorize the summary publication.
Second.
motion by Butler and a second by Geisler. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Now we've got some council business that comes up annually. The first one is to designate a council secretary. Anything you want to hit on this, Ms. Lensmeyer? Otherwise, it looks like we just got a little inflationary bump here again.
Mr. Mayor and Council, that's correct. Each year, the council is asked to designate a recording secretary for meeting minute production. We have historically used Time Saver Offsite Secretarial. This year, they have proposed a small increase of 3.5% to the base rate, an increase of $1.50 per hour, and 50 cents per page to the unit rate, which results in a small increase to the overall cost of minute production for the year, but it can be accommodated in the approved budget. We'll continue with the modified format of the minutes, including discussion but not staff reports, which will keep that cost down. Staff recommends that council designate Time Saver as the recording secretary and approve the addendum to the contract.
All right. Any questions of Mrs. Lensmeyer?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
make a motion to adopt resolution 26-1 designating Time Saver Offsite Secretarial as council secretary for 2026 and approve addendum to recording secretary service agreement.
Second.
There's a motion by Carlson, and boy, that was, I'm not even sure who said it, it was two. We'll go second by Butler. Is there any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries. Item number 7 is the council rules of procedure. We annually look at how the meeting's going to run and all the procedures. We're looking, the city manager is authorized to prepare a list of consent agenda items, but the mayor or any council member may request that a particular consent agenda item be removed from the list and placed on the regular agenda. It's all pretty much as we've been doing it. Does anybody have any questions over the rules of procedure, or Ms. Lensmeyer, is there anything you wanted to hit on?
No, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I'll stand for any questions you might have. I'll note that we're also asking that council approve the 2026 City Council regular meeting calendar with this item.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Geisler?
I'll move that we adopt Resolution 26-2, establishing council rules of procedure, adopt the addendum to Resolution 26-2, definitions and explanations of city council order of business, and approve the 2026 city council regular meeting calendar.
Second.
Motion by Geisler, second by Carlson down there. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 8 is the designation of the official newspaper. The Anoka County Union Herald has submitted a proposal to serve as the city's legal newspaper for 2025. The publication rates are proposed to increase from $11 per column inch to $11.25 per column inch. This will represent a small increase in publication costs, but those costs can be accommodated in the approved budget. The Herald meets all the requirements for serving as a legal newspaper, and the Herald has been our legal newspaper for,
Yours.
I don't know, forever. Probably since before that Connexus franchise agreement was signed. Anybody have any questions on this, or?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Butler?
Motion to adopt Resolution 26-3, designating the Anoka County Union Herald as the official newspaper for 2026.
Second.
Motion by Butler and a second by Armstrong. Is there any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries. Board and commission appointments. We've got some very hardworking commissions that serve the city and help the council. And we've got, we have some reappointments and some appointments and some chairs. Does anybody have this all down and wants to look through it? First, okay, well, for any questions? Anything you want to hit on?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor. If there are any questions, I'll answer those. Otherwise, we would recommend that council adopt the resolutions and accept the work plans. And remember to do the appointment of the vice chair of the Board of Adjustment and the Planning Commission.
Sure.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Butler?
I just first want to thank everybody who did decide to either apply to be on a commission or to agree to serve another term on a commission. These are really important roles. Some of them have real authority and others still do a lot of recommendation work for the council. And, you know, it's really helpful that we have people step up every year for this.
Mr. Mayor.
I was trying to imagine the definition for real authority, because some of those commissions are going, we have authority.
I mean, you know.
You want some bad bands down at the dam? I'm sorry, somebody, Councilmember Geisler?
Mr. Mayor, I would echo that, and with that, I'll make a motion for this entire item. To, one, adopt the following resolutions. Resolution 26-4, approving the annual appointments to the Arts Commission. Resolution 26-5, the annual appointments of the Board of Adjustments and Appeals. 26-6, appointments to the Fire Civil Service Commission. 26-7, appointments to the Historical Commission. 26-8, appointments to the Parks Commission. 26-9, appointments to the Sustainability Commission. 26-10, appointments to the Planning Commission. And then an appointment of vice chair for the Board of Adjustments of Appeals of Lisa Jones. An appointment of vice chair to the Planning Commission of Mary Schmolke. Approve the work plans as presented or modified, and adoption of Resolution 26-11, a resolution establishing the rules for the operation of commissions, boards, and committees.
Second.
Motion by Geisler and a second by Butler. Is there further discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you for everybody that has stepped up to serve on those. Item 10 is our city council appointments. We went through this in a December workshop. Any changes or surprises, Ms. Lensmeyer, since we went through these?
No, Mr. Mayor, we have presented it to council for approval as discussed at your work session. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
All right. Any questions of Ms. Lensmeyer, or anybody want to move this forward?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
make a motion to adopt the following resolutions. 26-12, appointing chief of police and one other voting member to the Anoka County Joint Law Enforcement Council. 26-13, appointing a delegate and alternate to the Anoka-Hennepin District 11 Community Education Advisory Council. 26-14, appointing representative and alternate to the Local Government Information Systems, LOGIS. 26-15, appointing representatives to the Minnesota Metro North Tourism, Twin Cities Gateway. 26-16, appointing a representative to the Anoka County Fire Protection Council. 26-17, appointing 3 members to the Coon Rapids Fire Relief Association. 26-18, appointing 2 representatives to the North Metro Mayors Association. And 26-19, appointing representatives to the Community Strength Foundation.
Second.
Motion by Carlson and a second by Armstrong. Is there discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Draskoviak?
just a quick question. Is it okay to just adopt these as Councilmember Carlson outlined? I mean, we usually name names and everything like that, but they're all right there in the packet. I just noticed that the last one we did was very succinct. Councilmember Geisler, and is that okay with the way to do it? Okay.
I would say that motion is just fine as read.
Yeah. I think so, because they're all written in the
They are.
resolutions like
They
that.
are.
so.
Okay. That's it.
Okay, any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Carrying on with the business of the business. Item 11 is the designation of official depositories and investment collateral management procedures. Ms. Hanson, anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. So each year, the city is required to designate an official depository for city funds. So as such, the resolution before you would designate U.S. Bank as the official depository. as well as authorize the finance director to designate additional depositories for investment purposes, and also to manage the collateral for those funds.
Very good. Any questions of Ms. Hanson on this?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Butler?
I move that we adopt Resolution 26-21, designating depositories and investment collateral management procedures.
Second.
Motion by Butler and a second by Geisler. Is there any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 12 is designation of electronic funds transfer authority. Ms. Hanson?
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, City Council, state statute allows for cities to make payment via electronic funds transfers. One of the requirements to be able to do that is to annually designate authority. So council is asked to designate the authority to make electronic fund transfers to the finance director.
All right. Any questions from anyone or motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac?
so would the authority then just be with Ashley Hanson, since she is our finance director? That's the only authority to make electronic funds transfer?
Correct.
Okay. With that, Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 26-20, designating authority to make electronic funds transfers to the finance director.
Second.
Motion by Griscoviac and a second by Butler. Is there any discussions on that? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 13 is to consider Resolution 26-22, revising the city's external auditing policy. Ms. Hanson again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. The city has had an established external auditing policy for the last 50 years that we have dusted off. So there's been some changes really since COVID, where we've seen an increase in staffing shortages for local government auditing firms auditing local government, as well as the Government Accounting Standards Board has really been busy creating more standards and adding more complexity to financial statement preparation and as such auditing. So we're really finding that there's kind of a lack of firms out there that are able to do a quality audit. So staff is recommending that we update our policy, with the only change being allowing the existing firm to participate in a full-scale competitive process. After that process, if they were to be the firm recommended, it would just require a change in the senior partner or principal, so that there's still some independence and a fresh set of eyes to make sure that the city council is getting a quality audit into city finances.
Very good. Council, any wishes?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
make a motion to adopt Resolution 26-22, revising city policy regarding external auditing and replacing Resolution 74-117.
Second.
Motion by Carlson, a second by Armstrong. Is there discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac?
I'll just say that we've been talking about this for a few years, even the last cycle, and then we had a work session to discuss it in detail, and I'm in agreement with these changes. Makes sense for us.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Geisler?
I would just go on to say also, this is a very common practice in private industry as well, as to maintain an audit partner, but to require a rotation maintain an audit firm and rotate the partner. Just from a continuity perspective, it does still provide a very good quality external audit on what's happening, so.
Great.
Very good. Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 14. Seems like such a small ordinance with such large consequences if we're successful. We're considering adoption of Resolution 26-24, authorizing solicitation of the state legislative authorization to hold a referendum on local option sales tax. Mr. Stemwedel, you want to hit the highlights of this one?
Sure, Mayor and Council. This topic stems to a discussion that Council's been reviewing for the past year or so. In our retreat in 2025, we discussed the need to look at this as a potential revenue source to address some of the large capital project wants and needs that the city has into the future. And so there's a long process for cities who are interested in having a local option sales tax, and it all starts at the legislature. And the first step is for the city council, as you're doing tonight, to adopt a resolution that basically authorizes me to submit an application to the legislature by the end of the month for them to consider as part of the next session. Then we need special law to be passed to give us the authority to hold a referendum. We have to hold that referendum within 2 years of receiving that special legislation, and bring that to the voters at a general election for them to approve. And if then that is approved, council would have to adopt an ordinance, and then finally, some months after that, revenue collection would begin. So it's really the start of the formal process. As I mentioned, the city staff and council have been talking about this for more than 6 months, what this might look like and what it might fund. And what it really is a 0.5% sales tax that would fund potentially 2 projects that would be handled as separate questions if we reach the step of a referendum. The first being a police station expansion and renovation. There are a number of facility challenges that we have at our police station right now, and the need to increase the training amenities that we have down there, and a whole host of things which I won't review right now. In addition to that, the building is now 30 years old and is showing some wear and tear, both in terms of sort of the critical infrastructure of the building and in terms of just the aesthetic of the building and functional spaces for employees and so forth. So that's sort of project 1. Project 2 would be the addition of a community center that would be attached to the current Coon Rapids Ice Center Boulevard Plaza site. This is something that the city council looked at about 5 years ago, put a pause on, and now through more recent discussions, we've identified this revenue source as the way to fund such a project should that come to fruition. So that's the real brief version of it. There's a lot more than that. I will mention that the recent newsletter that came out has an article about local option sales tax and refers folks on to our city website, which has more detail about what the tax is, what the process looks like, and then the projects that it potentially could fund. So with that, I'll stand for any questions. And just right there.
Any questions, Mr. Stetman?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Butler?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 26-24, authorizing solicitation of state legislative authorization to hold a referendum on a local option sales tax to fund specific capital improvements providing regional benefit.
Second.
A motion by Butler and a second by Geisler. I guess what I would like to mention is, I'm sure there are folks that are hearing this for the first time thinking, sales tax, this is bad.
Yes.
I just encourage you to dig in and research it. We have to do something with our police department. We have to spend millions of dollars over there, bringing it up to usable, And this gives us the opportunity to split that cost with residents that use our city as a regional shopping area. I think the research was approximately 50% of the funds that we would be using for these projects would be coming from outside of the city. Yeah. And these are projects that, for sure, the police station needs to be, the police department needs to be done, and City Hall amenities should be done. And that's funding that's going to be coming out of the general budget if we don't get this. Correct. The community center, we really should have one. I don't know where that'll go. Right. But I hope we can get through the legislative process, and I hope we can get it to the referendum or to the ballot. Okay. Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Butler.
I agree with everything you said, and the other things I wanted to add was, I was appreciative that all 7 of us are in support of this. We all signed a letter that went to our state legislators saying that we're supportive of this and hope for their assistance for it to pass this legislative session. I'll be frank, I'm a little worried about this legislative session, so we'll see if we can actually get this passed by the legislature. And the other thing that I really like about this, again, for folks who are maybe worried about a sales tax, if this were approved, it goes away once the funds are raised. This isn't something where council can just unilaterally extend it. We would set a target for it. We would raise the funds for the project that's specified on the ballot question, and then, we would either get it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to clarify, as part of the process, we set the targets. So that'll be on the referendum, and once those are achieved, then, yeah, it just goes away. And when you look at the regional shopping areas and the communities that have this already, you'll be surprised how many areas. Because my concern was, we don't want people to make a decision to go to a different regional shopping area than here because of the sales tax. There's not many choices for them to go where there isn't already a sales tax. So, that additional sales tax. Okay, any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac?
you know, talking about a sales tax, it sounds big, but it's 1/2 of 1%, and it really will go a long ways in this community. The thing I like about this whole thing is it's a very transparent process from end to end. I mean, we're entering into this right now, authorizing staff to work with the legislature and get approval for this. Then it goes in front of all the, residents of Coon Rapids to vote on. So, everyone wants to become educated on this and look at it real squarely. And again, I like the process being so transparent and including everyone in the community.
All right,
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Carlson?
Yeah, I'm also glad that, in particular, the community center addition, I'm glad that people have a voice in this. Ultimately, the people will have a voice in this. And that's very important to me. The police department, though, we really need some help at the police department to get that updated.
All right, any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 15 is to consider the 2026 insurance renewals and Resolution 26-23, establishing limited cleanup and property damage protection for sewer backups. Ms. Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Before you is a renewal of our property casualty insurance through the League of Minnesota Cities for 2026. Renewal came in at $439,675, which is a 2.2% increase over last year. This is mainly related just to change in property and vehicles that are on the policy. And then the league did have an increase in the auto physical damage rates. Our deductibles proposed are similar to previous years, would be a $50,000 deductible up to aggregate of $200,000. On property, we do tend to carry the $5,000 deductible on automobiles, and are recommending that we keep that with this next year. Let's see, other highlights are experience mod factor for liability did decrease, which is good. They look at the last 3 years for determining those as well. The council is asked to, let's see, we do have to make a decision on statutory limits. So statutory limits are $500,000 per claimant and $1.5 million per occurrence. So we have the option to waive these limits. Staff is recommending maintaining that $1.5 million per occurrence. And then additionally, the city has purchased no-fault sewer backup coverage for quite a long time. It's up to $10,000 per sewer backup claim, no matter who's at fault. And that something that our residents have really benefited from. For 2025, we had 3 claims processed under this no-fault coverage. So staff is recommending renewal of the insurance, maintaining the statutory legal limits, and then authorizing purchase of the no-fault sewer backup as well.
Very good. Any questions on this?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Butler?
I move that we do the following. We permit staff to purchase insurance renewal through the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust, maintain statutory legal limits of $1.5 million per occurrence, and authorize Resolution 26-23, purchasing no-fault sewer backup liability insurance.
Second. Motion by Butler and a second by Geisler. And then just a quick clarification, this sewer backup insurance is up to $10,000 per claim, which doesn't cover anything if you've got a finished basement. So you still want to have your own insurance on this. This is just, this is just for those, it sort of makes us feel better if it's a municipal backup. But, all right, any other discussion?
All in favor signify, yeah. Sorry, I forgot to write down. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. We are up to open mic and public comment. If you are here for open mic, please approach the microphone. Provides an opportunity for the public to address the city council on subjects that are not part of the regular meeting agenda. The public is invited to express any concerns they may have. And if you wish to participate, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and you've got 3 minutes. Mr. Friday?
Hi, Joel Friday, 13127 Cary Street Northwest. Just a quick comment on the sales tax. I would
Nope.
check with the post office
Nope,
because.
you're here for something else, Mr. Friday.
Okay. All
You
right.
we can talk about that after the meeting?
Fair enough,
Yeah, okay.
fair enough. Anyway, I'm here for the Crooked Lake Area Association. Just wanted to let you know, we appreciate all the city does for us. We once again had a successful year, little milfoil out there, but nothing terrible there. We're continuing to monitor that every year. We're having a couple of events coming up. The Crooked Lake Ice Carousel is this Saturday from noon to 5. Recommend y'all come out. It's a unique event. We're spinning 100-foot diameter of the ice out there. There's cookies, stuff like that. It's actually in Andover. I hate to tell you that, but you know, it's on the north side of the lake. Your best bet's to come in across from Meadow Creek at the light there, and there'll be signs and parking there, or you can park at the boat launch. Or if you want a good hike, park at the beach and come that way. And then our winter general meeting is coming up February 24th at 7 p.m. At Legacy Christian Academy. We hold it over there. Great time to, again, come out and meet the people from the lake, hear what we're doing on a regular basis. It's a great, you know, we also appreciate the funding the city provides for us every year. I don't think we've got our invoice over yet, but they were working on that for last year's thing. It's nice to have that partnership there where we're able to do the things that we need to do without bothering you, and you're willing to fund portion of that as well. The lake has just become a great neighborhood. Right now there is an ice skating rink out there, so the neighbors put it together. It's on the south end of the lake. You can go out there, bring the kids out there, ice skate. There's hockey sticks sitting there. If you want to play a little bit of hockey, shoot the puck around. They do a great job. They actually have a Zamboni that goes out there and cleans the ice off. So another place to ice skate in the city. The other thing, we appreciated the quick response of the police this year for the what do you call it? The bomb event, whatever that was, where 1,000 people showed up at the park. I know it doesn't affect me as much, but I know the surrounding neighbors really appreciate that because, you know, they're right there. They got a chain link fence between them and the park, and when something like that happens, and I was literally out on my pontoon when it happened, and I'm like, what the heck is going on there?
Yep.
And you guys were there 5 minutes later, so we appreciate the speedy response there. Yeah, just thank you for everything the council does and the city does for us, and it's a great partnership, so.
Yeah, well,
Any questions of the lake?
and the carousel on Saturday, I love the fact that one of your folks out there built the machine for actually cutting the carousel, and he's revised it and kind of re-engineered it until seems
The
like
Ice
it works.
Master 2000, yep. They literally take a chainsaw and cut a 100-foot diameter circle, and then they move it 2 inches and cut another one, so they have to be, it doesn't have to be a precise circle, but it's pretty precise. And they spin the whole thing with a couple of trolling motors or an outboard. It's crazy to think of. But they've got a slide, an igloo, a movie theater there, some, maybe a bonfire, cookies, things like that. So stop on out. It's a great time to meet the residents, and it's a great thing there. Is that
Very
my
cool.
dinger? Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I didn't set one, I trusted you.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was here for. Any other questions on the lake?
I think so. All right.
Okay, awesome. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mr. Friday.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Anybody else here to address council for open mic? All right.
Evening. I'm not gonna state my name, not my address, because I'm a free citizen. Beforehand, everybody here upholds an oath to the Constitution, so we should abide by that. First, I wanna address, right outside, you guys have a sign that every debit card is getting charged a 2.95% surcharge on it. That's unconstitutional and illegal based on the Durbin Amendment that was attached to the Act of 15 USC 16930. Just making you guys aware of that. The next thing, you guys spoke about transparency based on the auditing policy. I have here a documentation from September 26, in which I requested data based on the city council and all of its practices. I have yet received this information by email, no phone calls, no nothing. Currently, right now, this is actually a violation. It's actually a constructive denial because of no response. I am gonna speak with the, appeals officer, if I could find out who that is, before getting into either the legal procedures for civil penalties or criminal penalties for willful denial. The next thing I want to bring up would be the state of Minnesota is starting to establish flock cameras all around the state. I have here another documentation which I requested information based on the privacy and data collection of all these flock cameras and how this data is being stored, when it's going to be deleted for innocent individuals that's not being used on any kind of court cases or anything like that. And I also have not received that. This is also based on Minnesota statute of 13.824. So if these documentations, I can, share them out I could make copies, bring them back and share them out to everybody. And if I could get these back either by email or somebody give me a phone call telling me I could come pick them up physically. And I know I gotta pay for it because that's according to the Minnesota state law. I would like this information as soon as possible if I can get them.
Okay. All right. There will be no response for us, but we don't know who you are, but, okay. Sorry, I didn't run into that before. I wasn't sure what to do, so. All right, I would say that's the end of the open mic. Other business.
Mr. Mayor,
Can you identify yourself, please?
you know who I am. Man, there's a lot going on. That winter newsletter just came out. That thing is just packed with information, so should have gone to every house in Coon Rapids, right? Every residence in Coon Rapids, and if not, it's available online at our website. Front Door Grant is receiving applications, and applications are being accepted for the 2026 Front Door Grant up until February 25th, and then they'll have the lottery in March, and, Front Door Grant, supplying assistance to residents who want to kind of freshen up the front of their house. A lot of people in Coon Rapids have used that, have used that wonderful program and freshen up a lot of our houses, and it's a great program. I just want to make sure I gave a shout out to that. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Other business?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Geisler?
Just one other thing that I would mention is that the North Star has now completed services and is swapped over to bus service now. Additional information is available on Metro Transit. Just to highlight that for folks, probably we'll see additional activity around the rail stations as Metro Transit does their plans and moves forward with that.
Yeah, got a lot of news coverage over the weekend.
Sure did.
Mr. Stemmuddle?
Mayor Council, we've been getting some questions and calls about snow plowing operations both on city streets and sidewalks and paths. So I thought it'd be worth just sort of mentioning that, it's been a somewhat challenging start to the snow and ice season. We had a couple of winters where we didn't get a lot of snow and ice, and this year's a little different, especially with sort of the continual nuisance snows that we get, or that maybe don't trigger our 3-inch full plow event. You get an inch one day, another day later you get another inch. So we're catching up to some of that. We're trying to stay on top of it. I know they're doing some cleanup operations here, even today and yesterday. I saw plows out doing some cleanup. I saw some sidewalk machines out recently too. Sidewalks are particularly challenging right now. First, because they're not the priority when we get a major snow event. We're out doing the arterial roads and following residential roads to make sure those are passable. Then we move into sidewalk and path plowing. And we don't plow all of them, but certainly the neighborhood ones, the main thoroughfares, things like that. There might be some paths within connecting parks or inside of a park where we don't plow them at all. But what's been challenging with that, of course, is constant freeze-thaw cycles, constant snows. So we've been getting some calls and comments about sidewalks being challenging, things of that nature. And so just wanted to throw that out there. If there are particular areas that you're curious about, or if the sidewalk in front of your house has got unique challenges, please let us know. We'll send someone out, we'll take a look. We'll do what we can to address those issues, but I suspect it'll be an ongoing challenge for the next few months, because once you start with a lot of snow and ice, it doesn't really go away very well in January and February. It's usually March before we can really dry those sidewalks up very well. So feel free to reach out to the city main line. We'll get you in touch with the right person, or put in requests through our website, and we'll take them as they come.
Take them as you come. That's a really important thing. Don't let this stew and simmer and build up, and then wait and write a really inflammatory letter. Just point it out.
Yeah.
Call and go, hey, I've got an issue here.
Right.
Some of these letters you go, yeah, okay, whatever.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson.
I agree with you 100% on that. Our staff is fantastic.
Yep.
And I'm so quick to give out other people's information so they can call staff, because our staff handles the concerns very well. And so you're right, Mr. Mayor, don't let it build up. If you have an issue, contact staff, or if you have a question who to contact us, and we'll get you to the right place. And our staff does a great idea of kind of explaining things to people and again, addressing concerns.
All right. Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Butler, second by Carlson. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.